Hi, I'm Skip Nipper. Welcome to Skip's Corner, the podcast where I tell you about not only Nashville's great baseball history and traditions,
shot to right, a one-hop liner,
but certainly about its past. And you will hear a little bit about its present and future, too.
Yes, he can. It makes the waist-high catch.
There are great stories about Tom Wilson Park, Herschel Greer Stadium, Sulphur Dell, and the players, coaches, and fans who love everything about baseball. And every once in a while, you will get to hear from a special guest who will share their fondness and even passion for the great game.
The high fly ball down the right field corner, going way back, hits a lead-off home run.
There are three things needed to play baseball. Two are easy to say because everybody knows. A ball and a bat, that's easy. But what else? If I say there are three things needed, what's the third? Well, what about a glove, you say? No, when the game was first played in the fields and lots and farms and neighborhoods of lovers of the game, there were no such things as gloves. Now I'm talking about in the 19th century, and gloves weren't commonplace until the 1880s. Okay, what else? 9 players on the side? Well, give me a break. Games in the vacant lots down the street that weren't big enough for a true outfield. There were only 8 or 9 of us gathering on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon to play. Remember ghost runners? Okay, how about uniforms? You know, when I was a kid, we played in what we wore. Blue jeans mostly, but sometimes shorts. And we'd be happy to gain a strawberry on our knee from sliding to make base. Caps? Sometimes, if we were on a regular team that had real uniforms and caps were included, and we were sure we wouldn't forget it after a game played in the lot down the street, that we would be wearing it when we arrived home, well, yeah, I guess that was okay. Not necessary, especially a lawnmower that ate my ball cap would mean I would be capless at my next game, but not without a ringing out by my parents or my coach. Now, some of these are in jest, of course. I could go on, but surely by now you may have figured out what else we need to play baseball. I just mentioned it a few seconds ago, and that is a place to play. And where was the best place to play? As I've said, I've already mentioned one on the vacant lot down the street, but we were fortunate to have it until one day there were stakes in the ground for a builder to start working on the foundation of a new duplex. So where then is baseball played where there is no vacant lot or ball field nearby? Well, I'll tell you where over the years, the streets and sidewalks of our great cities, the beaches of faraway places where soldiers and sailors did bat tosses on foreign grounds to determine how players were chosen or which team would be home or be up to bat first. No, a bat and ball were not all you needed. But let me go back to those places once again that I just mentioned. No matter where you were, where your friends or teammates or enemies in the next neighborhood over wanted to issue a challenge to a game, that one thing was needed so the game could begin. Yes, a place to play was important. And the more games were played, the more were there who wanted to join in. More players meant more teams, and leagues were formed, first for nearby teams, then for teams a little further away when horses and buggies gave a chance to accept a challenge in the next village over. And boats and trains took over too, as teams from further towns and even cities thought they could beat you, could out-hit, outrun, out-pitch, and even outlook you with their wool uniforms in gray or blue, some with pinstripes. Most made out of heavy wool to last a season or more, ones that mothers had to mend when a hole in the knee or thigh or butt needed sewing up so it could be put on the next Saturday to go into combat against the muffins that would do battle in torn denim and linen shirts and straw hats and play just as hard as you would. In Nashville, there have been many places to play, but one special location was at the foot of the state capitol. In fact, it was the place for picnics, family gatherings, horse races, Sunday afternoon strolls, and after a time, baseball. That's as far back as the 1880s, too. And it became the favorite place for games of baseball. And when paying players became popular, it was necessary to build a grandstand, complete with fences and restrooms and concession stands. Wood was plentiful and was used to build the bleachers and later reserved sections with comfortable cane seats and backs for the public who would pay for them. Now, in this area, a sulfur spring was nearby that had brought animals to the area long before the settlers came. So it was given the name Sulphur Springs Bottom. It signified the low-lying countryside that was this popular spot. Who built the first grandstand? It's hard to say, but as the century turned to the 1900s, Isaac Ike Fisher, a Nashvilleian, not only built his first ball club for the newly formed Southern Association, but he upgraded the wooden grandstand at Sulphur Springs Bottom to make it more appealing and more comfortable for fans. It was said he made $10,000 profit in the team's first year in 1901. And in 1908, local sports writer Grantland Rice dubbed the ballpark Sulphurdale because it had become so popular. So many people were coming, and Nashville baseball was founded on success. But by 1926, the Nashville Ball Club, now called Volunteers or Vols, was in financial straits, and four investors took over the Nashville Baseball Club. Rogers Caldwell, a local horse breeder, Jack Whaley, a co-publisher of the Southern Lumberman magazine, and Stanley P. Horn, also a co-publisher with Whaley, and Jimmy Hamilton, who'd been the manager of the Nashville Ball Club. And not only did they build a new concrete and steel grandstand, but they turned the ballpark completely around so the setting sun would no longer be in the batter's face during afternoon games. Remember, there were no lights at Sulphurdale until the 30s, so games had to be played in the daylight, and the setting sun was just too much for the batters. Sulphurdale lasted into the 1960s until the Nashville Vols Ball Club went out of business in 1963, and although the ballpark remained the home of circuses and music concerts before being demolished in 1969, it was traditionally referred to as Nashville's place to play until then. Then along came Vanderbilt University baseball coach Larry Schmittou in the 1970s when he came up with an idea to resurrect professional baseball in Nashville. Getting financial backing was the backbone of making it happen, but then there was this question of where would a new team play? Schmittou and his backers built a ballpark at the bottom of Fort Negley for the ball team to begin play in 1978. They named it Herschel Greer Stadium after receiving a financial boost from the Greer family, and the Nashville Sounds called Greer Stadium home through 2014, a period of 36 years before the city of Nashville built a new ballpark with the help of Mayor Carl Dean, a great baseball fan, for now owner Frank Ward's Sounds. It overlaps the approximate location of Old Sulphurdale, and they built it in time to begin the season in 2015. And it has been a success, too, with businesses and places to live surrounding the ballpark, now called First Horizon Park. Without any of those folks stepping up to the plate, Newt Fisher, the four new owners of the Vols in 1927, Nashville Sounds founder Larry Schmittou, or Carl Dean and Frank Ward, would Nashville have flourished as a city that was and is high on baseball? With the possibility of Major League Baseball coming to Music City, it begs the question, where would a team play? Well, let me wax poetic here for a little while because I want to recite a popular soliloquy that has touched the hearts of baseball lovers everywhere, and I believe you will recognize it right away. Ray, people will come, Ray. They'll come to Iowa for reasons they can't even fathom. They'll turn up your driveway, not knowing for sure why they're doing it. They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children longing for the past. Of course, we won't mind if you look around, you'll say. It's only $20 per person. They'll pass over the money without even thinking about it, for it is money they have and peace they lack. And they'll walk out to the bleachers, sit in shirt sleeves on a perfect afternoon. They'll find they have reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines where they sat when they were children and cheered their heroes. And they'll watch the game, and it'll be as if they dipped themselves in magic waters. The memories will be so thick, they'll have to brush them away from their faces. People will come, Ray. The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball. America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It has been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. But baseball has marked the time. This field, this game, it's a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good and that could be good again. Oh, people will come, Ray. People will most definitely come. That encouragement came from Terrence Mann to Ray Kinsella in the movie Field of Dreams. And Kinsella ended up building a diamond in an Iowa cornfield. If the fictional diamond was a success, and it was quite literally too, what about Nashville's new diamond? We don't care where it is located. It could be in a cornfield, a sandlot, a wide open space, or a narrow one. There are plenty of spots these days. And remember, in Nashville, we can tear buildings down just about as easy as constructing them. Ray, people will most definitely come. But here's the next question begged by Nashville's citizenry and me, who wants a major league team in Nashville. Who will be Nashville's Ray?